Coming up in this Fincast, a tour of an 8,000-gallon reef.
I use the Chemipure Elite and Nuvo 16, and a couple teaspoons in a bag on each side, and change it out like once a month, and it just keeps everything pure and clean. No phosphates, everything's good to go. It's pretty much a worry-free system because of the Chemipure.
Hi everybody, John here with another Fincast, and today I want to take you to the huge 8,000-gallon reef system at Center in the Square in Roanoke. Now, I want to tell you that this was a system designed by Reef Aquarium Design based in Florida, and a man named Jeff Turner who runs that company. And after the aquarium was installed back in 2013, Jeff came back from Florida and wanted to look and see the progress of the tank. And so I had a chance to interview him in the atrium at Center in the Square, and this is actually a few months back, even as I sit here and speak right now. So we're going to see what Jeff thinks of the aquarium after this amazing installation process of this huge aquarium. Then we're going to show you some of the beautiful progress that it's made over the course of the past couple of years. So I'm going to toss right now to my interview with Jeff. Fincast, I've got a real treat for you here today. We're at Center in the Square in Roanoke, Virginia, an 8,000-gallon living reef system. We've got a seahorse aquarium, and then right over my shoulder, jellyfish. And Jeff Turner, the man who designed and installed all of this, is here with me to talk a little bit about his vision for this atrium here at Center in the Square, which houses the Science Museum and other arts organizations in Roanoke. So Jeff, it's a couple years into the project now. You're looking at your work. What do you think?
Well, I'm thinking that the jellyfish are really swimming well, and the whole display looks great. It's really exciting to see the progress and recognize that many hundreds of thousands of people have seen this here in Roanoke and learn more about ocean conservation, ocean education.
This jellyfish aquarium that we're looking at right now is a design that you and your engineers put together. What were your challenges when you looked at keeping the jellies happy and healthy and floating in this environment?
Well, this is about a third rendition of a cylindrical aquarium, jellyfish-style aquarium, that is a chrysal, but it's a spinning chrysal. And we've learned through the technological changes and flow dynamics in the aquarium how to suspend the jellies, keep them clean and operating through the aquarium, and also surface skimming at the same time without getting them stuck. It's been a challenge that we've seen in a lot of very large aquariums, but we believe it's important to be surface skimming and removing organics that stay on the top of the aquarium via the surface water coming off and down to the filtration below.
I can tell you personally, because I live here in Roanoke and I come to the museum and I watch people looking at the jellyfish, and they talk about how peaceful and serene they are. I know several people who come down here from their busy jobs, and they'll take their lunch hour just to watch the jellyfish. You've got the different colors, and you've really created an environment here that is engaging for the viewer, and that was your goal kind of all along, wasn't it?
Absolutely. They're very mesmerizing. The activity of them, how they're floating and moving about in this aquarium, it's a little higher of a flow rate, and it allows the jellyfish to be exercised and successfully grow and thrive in this system.
Good deal. Anything else you want to say about the jellies?
They're reproducing. Obviously, there's polyps downstairs in the sump and everything. And again, people just are fascinated with them. They're very relaxing, and it's exciting to see jellyfish in Roanoke, Virginia.
That's what people say. I'm in the mountains and I'm looking at jellyfish. It's crazy. So that's a look at the jellyfish. We'll look at the seahorses next, and then still to come, we're going to show you that 8,000-gallon living reef. So we've showed you the jellyfish tank. Next, we want to take a look at the seahorse aquarium, which the architect for Center in the Square actually has horses on his farm. And he said, if we're going to do aquariums, we have to do seahorses. And Jeff said, that's not a problem. So you built and designed a 400-gallon seahorse aquarium. Tell me what you were thinking when you put that together.
Well, it's actually an offshoot of the main reef system. It's more so a living refugium that's on display continuously. And the seahorses are in the aquarium, and they're all aquaculture, grown down in Florida, and they do fantastic in there. There's some actually chains in there that we have them on so people can see them very easily, and they do fantastic in that system.
And you've actually plumbed that into the main tank, the reef tank, which we'll show viewers in just a moment. That was kind of an interesting concept, but it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. It has the stability of the overall water quality of the reef system. That is key to I guess really the viability of the system and the way the seahorses thrive in the system.
One of the neat things that I notice when I watch people who come to center look at that tank is they can get right up close to that tank. So they notice the gobies, they notice the blennies, they notice some of the other things as well as the seahorses. That's kind of a cool opportunity in a science museum setting, don't you think?
It is, and it's kind of unusual. Normally you don't see seahorses with other species of fish, but with the proper feeding, the seahorses do fine, the fish do fine together too. Plenty of food going in, seahorses are happy.
Good deal. So that's a look at the Seahorse Aquarium. And now we're going to take a look at that 8,000-gallon reef system. Okay, now as promised, there it is. There's the baby. That is the gem of the atrium. It's free and available to the public whenever Center in the Square is open. An 8,000-gallon reef system designed and built and installed by Jeff Turner. And Jeff, it's been 2 years since you put this in here. Do you think your vision is reaching what you had in mind when you first designed this?
I think it's doing fantastic, John. The fish are growing and thriving in the aquarium. There's a lot of diversity of fish species. We pretty much have almost the same fish that we put in there in the beginning. Some of the green chromis didn't do as good, but the tangs, the anthias, the angels, the fairy wrasses, they're just thriving and growing so well in this reef aquarium.
Banggai cardinalfish are actually breeding. We've got a sea urchin in there, so successfully the babies have hidden in the spines, and we've actually been able to capture those and pull them out, put them in other aquariums here at Center. Tell everybody who may not know the process you went through to get the live rock here from the Florida Keys.
Oh, that was a big deal. We brought in about 4,000 pounds of Marco base rock, and we assembled that first onto a big FRP grid on the bottom of the aquarium. Then on another load brought back about 3,000 pounds of live rock, all aquaculture from the Florida Keys. So we have driven all the way from Florida Keys with this beautiful aquaculture live rock. It was grown down in the National Marine Sanctuary with federal permits, state permits, and from a couple different companies down there. And it's really something else. So we have our spray bar system with the salt water operating. We've had our heaters on it on the way up. And the aquaculture rock is just beautiful. It smells like the ocean at low tide, perfect. And good coralline algae growth, but it's really important to keep it wet during transit. So this is the freshest live rock that's ever hit Roanoke. That was just a straight through run, came in here and assembled all into the aquarium with the tank half filled, and then filled the balance of the aquarium up, and it's running today. We have a lot of different aquacultured Atlantic species that had settled on those aquacultured rocks in Florida. They're growing very well too. Porites, astroides, fire coral, other types of plating corals are in there too from the Florida Keys, live rock.
And the coral and algae in this tank, I don't know how well it'll come out in the video. We'll try to show it as best we can. The coral and algae growth is just amazing in that tank.
It's plating, it's growing on top of rocks. It's very interesting how intense it's growing in here. And I attribute that really to that quality aquaculture source of live rock in Florida. I think that makes a big difference. And the whole aquarium now, you can't tell what was artificial rock or what was mined rock actually in the beginning to what it is today. It's just one solid mass of calcium carbonate and coralline algae growing.
Did you anticipate that because when we put the rock in there, you couldn't see any sign of the porites and that type of stuff on the rock, and now it's got big fingers growing up out of the rock?
Well, there was little pieces of it I saw in the beginning, and they're still in those same areas, but their polyps are opened up, they've grown, and they're fingering out, just pretty normal as it would be on the reef probably, or in here more so, but they're very healthy, and it's neat having those aquacultured Atlantic corals, plus of course the Pacific corals we have too are all aquacultured frags in the beginning too.
Right. So I know that we get, because I'm here a lot when the school groups come through, several 100,000 people a year come through this lobby. It's free and open to the public. There's no charge for it. And people in the mountains are really pleased that they get an opportunity to see something like this. It must make you feel good to know that you sort of provided that for the public here in Virginia.
Oh yeah, it's super neat. I mean, the aquarium's into the ground a few feet, and you're looking into it, and then you're looking down, and you see the Pseudochromis fredmani down there, and the royal grommas living under the ledge. It's very natural the way it's laid out and how open the structure is. The corals will keep growing. We start with really little frags. They're growing very well now, and they'll really keep growing over the next couple of years, and we'll have a really nice mass of colorful coral and growth of stony corals in the aquarium.
So I hope you enjoyed the tour of the Center in the Square Aquarium, and it's really interesting to see what Jeff thinks after not having seen it for probably going on 2 years. But he came up from Florida and looked at it, and he was really impressed with the progress. And And isn't it interesting to see the growth of the corals and see how everything is coming together? And again, one of the amazing things is the fish that are in that tank right now, for the most part, 98% of them are the same fish that we put in there back in 2013. So I hope you enjoyed this Fincast. Please click around. I'm sure you'll find something that you like. Freshwater side, planted side, cichlids, and of course lots of marine topics as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Fincast.